You guys have been asking how I train to get an anime level physique. So to celebrate hitting 100,000 subscribers on my channel, I'm gonna give you guys exactly what you've been asking for. Today is the day that you learn how to train like me, Kevin Zhang, aka Calisthenics Nerd, aka Buff Markiplier, aka Budget Chris Harrier, aka everybody thinks they need to go to the gym and lift weights to get anime level strength and muscle. But as someone who spent the vast majority of their training with just calisthenics, let me tell you right now that you can achieve your wildest fitness dreams at home with zero weights. Not only am I going to give you guys the exact exercises that I'm doing right now to develop my strength and physique, but I'm also going to show you easier variations of some of these exercises so you can train like me no matter what level you're at. And at the end, I'll show you guys my current training style that got me to the point where I am now and is going to get me to the point beyond where I am now. Now, just like you guys, I want to achieve an anime level physique, but there's something else that's more important to me than that. See, looking like Toji would be awesome. I mean, just look at him. He's gorgeous. But in my opinion, it would be so much cooler to be as strong as Toji. So I like to prioritize strength when it comes to calisthenics. I want to have a massive back, but I also want to do some cool ass moves and master my own body weight, which is why I always incorporate some form of one-arm pull-up training. For my case, it's just doing one-arm pull-ups. It increases my overall pulling strength, it looks cool, and it really helps to develop my back. Look, I know this is a gym and not my house, but technically this gym is in the basement of my condo, so it's still my home. Plus, you can do these exercises on a regular door frame pull-up bar, so shut up. I even throw some one-arm pull-up negatives so I can continue to get stronger at this movement. But of course, I didn't start here. You guys probably aren't gonna start here either, unless you're a complete freak of nature. So I recommend you guys starting where I started, which is strap-assisted one-arm pull-ups. Using a strap, in my case, it was the belt of a bathrobe, you can still bias one arm at a time, increasing your one-arm strength. And the lower you put your hand on the strap, the harder it will be for that hand. But the one-arm pull-up isn't the only skill that I'm training for when it comes to pulling strength, because it's not just pull-ups that help to develop my back. See, one of the reasons that I've developed a pretty nice demon back is not because of me doing a bunch of reps, it's actually me doing static holds, which is why I always do some form of front lever training. I love the front lever because I feel it trains my entire back. It activates my lats, my upper back, and even engages my abs. Plus, the act of holding your entire body weight in the air is great for developing strength in the back, and it makes me feel like the honored one. This is one of the first skills I ever wanted to learn when I discovered calisthenics, but obviously, I couldn't do this just yet. So to get you guys started, you need to do the tucked front lever, which is the easiest variation of the front lever. Just make sure you're activating your lats, leaning back as much as possible, and squeezing your shoulder blades together. But I'm not like a master of calisthenics strength, right? There are some skills that I'm still trying to learn myself. One of those is one of the hardest skills in all of calisthenics. It feels so close, it's so far away, and it makes me so upset that I can't do it. And that is, of course, the planche. Now, for me, I'm currently at the single leg variation, which I still think is pretty cool, but of course, I can get better. I would like to get better. But for those who aren't here yet, starting off by getting used to the planche motion by doing planche leans is going to be really good. You're training the exact same muscles as you would use for the planche, but it's gonna be a whole lot easier because your feet are on the ground. And doing planche training is going to be super awesome for the shoulders. It helped to develop mine. But if I wanted to achieve incredible shoulder strength like Zoro from One Piece, then I needed to do something a little harder. So the exercise that I do to develop that, which also helps with my hand balancing, is the bent arm handstand press. I love these because it allows me to work on both shoulder strength and hand balancing, and I actually feel like I'm an anime character training in a montage doing these exercises. Like in my head, I probably look really cool, but I'm probably just a dork imagining myself as like the protagonist of an anime. But some of you probably don't have the balance yet to even hold a handstand. So I recommend just doing regular elevated pike push-ups. It's gonna train the same muscles, but you're not gonna have to worry about balance. Now, as you can see, there's a lot more to calisthenics than doing some basic push-ups. Most people don't know this, but leveling up the difficulty of your exercises, aka progressive overload, is the #1 key to getting an anime level physique from home. Because just like a weightlifter who adds weight to his sets consistently, it allows you to increase the resistance week after week. And as a result, you'll build strength and muscle much faster than the guys who stick to the same workout routine. And that's also why I only do a handful of the exercises that I share in my videos, because I'm always outgrowing my workouts and pushing to reach the next level. And this is what separates my my calisthenics method than other at-home workout methods out there. So if you truly want to train like me, then you always have to look for the exercises that push your limits. And if you want to learn the best way to use progressive overload to achieve an anime level physique at home, then click the link in the description for a full breakdown. But I'm not just training to be strong enough to carry all the groceries in one trip, although that is a plus. And I'm still trying to get those big juicy muscles just like Toji, just like Sung Jin Woo. So of course I have to incorporate some form of hypertrophy training as well. And to show you these exercises, let's take it one at a time, starting with my favorite day, pull. I mean, is it any wonder I love back training? It's literally my profile picture on my YouTube channel is my back. I love pull day. And one of the best exercises that I do for my back is front lever raises. These are insane for the lats, and they also help me to increase strength in the front lever. They work your entire back, and you can make them harder by just extending your legs. But if these are too difficult for you, doing scap pulls is going to help you develop that foundational strength. But one of the exercises that has been responsible for 90% of my back gains is just the classic pull-up. It's so good. It's a classic for a reason, and I don't think I'll ever outgrow this exercise. If I could only do one back exercise for the rest of my life, it would probably be this one. It works the backs, the biceps, the forearms, the shoulders, everything. It's so good. But if there was one exercise that was a close second, it would have to be my favorite variation of pull-ups, which is the commando pull-up. The close grip helps me to get more stretch on the lats, and the neutral grip not only feels good on the wrists, but it also helps me to train my brachialis, giving me thicker looking arms. And lastly, I like to finish all of my pull workouts with some form of rowing. Since we did a lot of lat work, having an exercise that focuses more on upper back is really refreshing. Plus, these are pretty easy to do relative to the other exercises, so they're good to load up as a nice high rep back finisher at the end. And with these combination of exercises, I have come to develop a glorious demon back on my back. I would call myself Back Guy, if the name wasn't already taken. Now, I could train back forever if I could, but since I don't want to look like a wall or a Dorito or a stingray, let's talk about my push day. Now, I have a pretty good physique, but one of the areas that I am lacking in, or I wish was bigger, is my shoulders. So I like to start every push day with some form of vertical pushing. In this case, it's wall handstand push-ups. Ever since I started doing these, my shoulders have blown up quite a bit, and they're not that difficult because of the wall, but they're challenging enough where I can at least hit the 10 to 12 rep range. And doing these stomach to wall just feels better for me, but you can do these back to wall if you feel like it. But this isn't the only exercise I'm using to blow up my shoulders. I'm also throwing in elevated pike push-ups as well. These are another great exercise, but because it's an easier variation, it allows me to explore more rep ranges, helping to increase the stimulus in my shoulders. But it's push day. You know, it's not all about the shoulders. It's all about that double D. What am I doing? It's all about that double D man chest, right? And one of my favorite exercises for the chest is the archer push-up. These make push-ups a whole lot more challenging, so I'm not doing like 40, 50 reps every single set. And I love that I can train one arm at a time, making sure that I have symmetrical boobies and not lopsided boobies. If you can't do archer push-ups, then I recommend doing them on an elevated surface or just bending the arm a little bit. But my favorite exercise right now for getting my chest to grow and get a nice aesthetic chest is the decline deficit push-up. This focuses more on upper chest, which is the more aesthetic part of the chest, but the extra range of motion not only makes it harder, but gives me more stretch at the bottom, allowing for more growth, and it also feels pretty good. And sure enough, if you do these exercises with progressive overload, you're going to develop a super manly chest, just like Baki. Now, if you're just here to know how I developed a great upper body, you can go ahead and click away from this video. Now that the true Giga Chads are here, you are Jim, it's time to talk legs. The way I train legs is the same way I train upper body. I like to focus strength and performance and then worry about size. So to start my leg days, I love doing pistol squats. I love the balancing component, and it also helps to really develop the strength. Plus, these are very easy to overload when you add weight to it. But of course, this is an at-home, no weights video. So we need to get stronger without weight. And if you want to use more force in your legs without using any weight, then the best exercise for that is explosive squats. Since I can control the amount of force that I generate, I don't need extra weight to get stronger. Plus, I find that these work my calves as well, so it's a bonus. If you guys are doing these at home or trying these out, I recommend the fly and hover technique that I covered in my Invincible video. Jump as high as you can until you can't anymore, so that's your flying, and then finish it off with 5 lighter jumps. That's the hover. And when you do these, you're gonna feel the burn in your legs. It's gonna feel super effective. But I don't just want strong legs. I want legs that can move, and I don't want my hips to give out when I'm 70. So I like to incorporate Cossack squats when I can. They help with my flexibility, which is something I'm trying to work on. And because it's unilateral training, it helps with strength as well, and it helps with muscle imbalance. If you find them too hard to do, you're not that flexible yet, you can bend the leg a little bit or until you don't feel like you're going to tear off your hamstring. But so far, I've given a lot of attention to the quads and the glutes. So this is where I start to give more attention to the hamstrings by doing hip hinges. They're not as hard as Nordics, but they still make my hamstrings super sore. I also feel this exercise work the glutes a little bit and help me get down with the thickness. So with the quads, the glutes, the hammies, the calves, all that's covered, you're gonna have some really well-rounded legs. But some of you might be thinking, what about abs? Well, my philosophy has always been, if you do good calisthenics, you don't really need to train abs, but I do some ab training at the end of my legs. And as a matter of fact, I only need to do one exercise, and that is the beloved dragonfly. I love these because I find it works my entire core, and it works other muscles like my lats, my quads to some extent, and my forearms. And if you can't do the full dragon flag, any variation works. Tucked, single leg, whatever you want. The world is your oyster. Now, with all of the exercises finally out of the way, this is what my final routine looks like. Of course, I use the push-pull leg split, the superior split. I say it's a superior split, but it's the one that works best for me. But if you pay attention to the actual routine, you'll also notice the order of the exercises as well. My routine follows what is called a daily undulating periodization, meaning different days throughout the week have varying intensities. So at the beginning of the week, I always start with the more intense exercises, such as the one-arm pull-up, the planche, the handstand stuff, etc. And then later in the week, I'm focusing more on higher reps, lower intensity, but more hypertrophy focused training. And keep in mind that this routine is not something I stick with for a long time. Every 6 weeks, I always change it up, trying to add more load, trying to make things more difficult so that I can continue to grow. And I recommend you guys do the same. And that's how to train like me. Now, if that's all you came for, then go ahead and click off this video. Thank you for watching. Now that the anime level Omega Giga Chads are still here, I wanted to say thank you. A year ago, when I started this channel, I had no clue what I was doing, no clue where I was gonna go, and didn't think this would get me anywhere. As you could see from my very, very first video where I'm like, hey, follow my channel, I don't know what's happening, but do it anyway. I definitely didn't expect to get to 100,000 subscribers so soon. I mean, I thought at this point I would be lucky to even have 1,000, but 100K, like, damn. And I have nobody to thank but everyone who's been supporting me, you guys watching my videos, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and honestly, it's changed my life. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not that close to Markiplier. And I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, all 100,000 of you, for giving me your support and just helping this random Asian nerd get to this point. So it's all thanks to you guys. I appreciate it. And if you guys want to take a trip down memory lane and go back to the video that started it all, then check out my Train Like Toji video right here.